What's up, guys? We're going to be breaking down today why Dechala the Denied One is insane. Look at the new Tides of Torment Warhammer 3 DLC. Welcome, in thralls, demonic in form, if not in essence. Dechala strikes and stalks in the world, living embodiment of the Prince of Pleasure's aspects of decadence and cruelty. The head of the infamous Chaos Warband known as the Tormentors. She roams far and wide, mesmerizing everyone as she subjugates and renders them mindless as thralls to service to her every whim. When all their lives are spent, she moves on to the next conquest. In the battle, Dechala is a blur of blades moving and striking with grace, fury, and frightening speed. She has her own skill 9, which she unlocks a series of abilities in combat, which if you saw those abilities earlier, some of them are going to enhance herself and her followers, and one is more of a melee defense inspired ability, and one is more a melee attack and speed inspired ability. She's going to be basically running through first strike punchy armies and campaigns, so this is going to run kind of like a corn campaign where you're going to keep running through ground and moving on. Okay, let's go over campaign mechanics for Dechala. Her campaign focuses on subjugating the populations of captured settlements, binding them to her will as the thralls who fuel her war efforts and sustain her growth and dominion. Okay, they're going to be her primary campaign resource that are tracked on the upper middle of the panel, and these guys are going to be basically your unique resources for Dechala. They're simply tools. Their lives and labor is spent in service to her. So she has this as her main economy, kind of like a slave economy. She has the Pillars of Cruelty. This is going to be her main mechanic, okay? When she occupies a captured settlement, you'll convert it to one of 3 distinct types, which is going to be a pleasure palace, a thrall camp, or the hold. So if you make a thrall camp, it's going to be the basis of that thrall economy like we talked about. It's going to feed thralls into the global pool and give her the ability to make basically some more thralls, improving growth and replenishment, and generating gold for that economy. There are also going to be a finite population for each one of these thralls, these thrall camps, and so as they die, she's going to have to go and conquer more. The second type of settlement we talked about is that Tormentors hold. These are the military centers. This is going to be where you're recruiting things like devoted marauders, Slaanesh, Furies, Hellstriders, Chaos Warriors, Hell Scourges, Seekers, Exalted Demonettes, and Slaanesh spawn. Okay, so this is going to be the third, called the Pleasure Palace. It's the specialist tier. It's going to be a glittering shrine, and basically it's going to be used to construct where money has no role. It's about utilizing your thralls so Dechala and Tormentors can indulge. You're bringing in those thralls that you already created, and this is where you go to entice the big demonic units into existence. Okay, so without that, you can't have more demons, but this is also important because you have to build more pleasure palaces as they kind of fall apart. And this ensures right here, if you have 2 or 3 upgraded pleasure palaces in place, you will find the income they bring mitigates the loss for the declining thrall camp. So that's going to be what you want to do towards the end game. Alright, the unique mechanic, Decadence. So every building is going to add to the Decadence rating, which is tracked in the upper area, right up in here. Okay, so we got thralls and then Decadence. You're going to choose to spend it on Tormentor tributes, which have these categories. We've got Marks of Vindictiveness and Resplendent Offerings, which is going to be interesting. They'll give you things like increased abilities. I think it was also like economy. So it says here they're going to be great for bolstering individual units, and you're going to be in opulent gifts and exquisite spoils as the 2 types of gifts. Okay. You can give items to your lords and heroes like banners, the gifts of adoration, which are going to buff all your friendly units. Exquisite spoils are going to be basically global enhancements, and you can see that The sparring aspirants increase your global recruitment passive by +2, which is pretty great. And you're going to have reducing all attrition by 33%. You can have a ward save for the vanity mirrors for Dechala, and even give her a hefty 25% boost to XP. Okay, now look at this Lord, Dechala the Denied One. So pretty cool Lord. I like her model. The idea is decent, especially with the Slaanesh theme, and we're going into that Dark Elf style. As a base, she can steal 15% of the experience of any of the other lords. So as you go through, you can build your lords up, and she's going to actually level up faster. Okay, she's got mostly combat benefits, and she's also going to be able to boost her acceleration, deceleration, like we talked about earlier, and that's going to allow her to go and chase down units later on. Okay, she's got the skills like Dagger Dance and Whirlwind of Pleasure, so this is going to be good when you throw her into melee combat and she's stuck. You can throw down those abilities and help mow through the chaff. Okay, she's got some passive Marauder buffs, and basically she's going to take these cheap units and make them a little bit stronger, so you can look for doom stacks in that area. Unit roster, we got the Styrkaar of the Sortsvinaer. I think, don't hate me if I crush that one. So this is a pretty interesting unit. This is going to be your legendary hero. It's the Marauder Chieftain. He's going to be a follower of Slaanesh from a young age. He basically ended up falling into the Slaaneshi hands and became a warrior for them. He has a magical weapon called the Blade of Endless Boasts, a weapon that has unleashed devastating sonic booms. So he's going to have devotion from the Marauder units and have the Follow the Leader skill line. Okay, so right when we go to the Druki Anointed, I love these guys. They have the giant swords. They're going to be roaming the wilds as assassin agents, ready to hunt down lords and heroes on the battlefield. So this is going to be somebody you throw in and one-on-one those other lords, especially the caster lords. We have the Exalted hero of Slaanesh. This is also going to be a lord killer style hero. As you can see, massive weapon, 3 arms. It's got a great solid charge bonus, heavy weapon damage, and they make outstanding one-man shock troops. Okay. We also have the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Slaanesh here. They're going to be practitioners of that Lord of Slaanesh who have arisen out of Lord status, and they're going to give you extra bonuses. This is like Forsaken, Chaos Spawn, and Feral Manticores. We also have the Melee Cavalry, Pleasure Seekers, lightning fast melee cavalry with poisonous and magical attacks. These guys are going to be things that you dive in on their little snake units, and you're going to want to leave so they don't get smashed up, but great for hitting those archers in the back. We've got the Devotees of Slaanesh. These are going to be your normal ranks. They're going to be marauders for early game. You're going to just send them in as chaff, and hopefully they can last. We've got their Monstrous Infantry champions of Slaanesh. So as you can see, they've got this giant sword. They've got 4 arms, and they're going to be mutated bodies. And as you can also read here, they have a really high melee defense and melee block chance. So they have also armor piercing attacks. So if you're going to play against things like the dwarves, you want to bring that. We have our new monstrous infantry called the Slangors, and as you can see, they have great use for skirmishing or battlefield ambushers, and they also benefit from vanguard deployment. So you can use those as kind of like a assassin style. We also have our monster. This is the cool Preyton. It's a monstrous wing base of chaos. They bring heavy support unit from Decala's armies and particularly nasty attitude. Its self-loathing and all-consuming hatred made it perfect for the armies of the god of excess. Okay, so he's got a couple things up his sleeves: endless malice, consuming hatred, which reflects damage back at the attackers, but it does lower its own melee defense. So this is really interesting, guys. It'll be cool to see how this plays in to the Slaaneshi roster. And as you can see, we're going to be hitting up on December 4th for Tides of Torment. So if you like this, subscribe, and Titan Prime out.
Submit and be perfected.